Town Council will hear about Barnstable's emergency plan. Restaurant owners give police good reviews. And yes, we're already talking about holiday shopping. Details on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, November 13th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. A reminder to boaters, new regulations prohibit the off-season storage of dinghies at town beaches, landings, and ways to water. Boat owners have until this Thursday, November 15th, to remove those boats from the shore. If vessels are left after the 15th, the town may remove or scrap those vessels. Contact the Harbor Master's office for further details. Well, at the beginning of the summer, liquor license holders in Hyannis gathered together to meet with police to hammer out a plan to keep the street safe and the fun flowing without incident over the summer. Chief of Police Paul McDonald tells us that an end-of-season wrap-up meeting took place last week.
Liaison officers with licensing board brought all the liquor license holders on Main Street back in for a debriefing session. As you know, we had a meeting with all license holders at the beginning of the summer, and this was the meeting at the end of the summer to find out how everybody did for the summer, what went wrong, what went well, how can we do it better, and in preparation for next year.
The chief says communication amongst business owners and police was good, and the effort paid off.
Cooperation was there. You know, we laid out our expectations, what we were looking for. They let us know what they wanted from us. All in all, it was a very good summer. They appeared to be happy. They obviously made some money. Last week I went to the bid breakfast. They appear to have had a good season also, and that's the goal. You know, our main goal is to provide a safe environment in downtown Main Street, Hyannis. And in turn, if that happens, the merchants will all do well. So it's a cooperative effort between the merchants, the police department, and the town, and it's working out very well.
Overall, Chief McDonald says the collaboration received good reviews.
No negative comments at all. They're very pleased with the level of cooperation they received from us, especially the new system that we put in place. If somebody was causing a problem at one bar, he was going to be banned from all of the bars, and that made a huge impact. That word got out very, very quickly in the community. So. If someone is causing a problem at Tommy Doyle's, he's not going to get into 586. So that really cut down the problems for us. It was a cooperative effort. It was very well done.
This Thursday, Chief McDonald will be presenting the town's emergency management plan in a workshop session before Town Council.
Every town department, the police department, DPW, the school department, the airport, we all have our own emergency operation plan, which is department specific. It lays out a plan what those individual departments will do in the case of emergency, a natural or man-made hazard. The SEM plan, the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan, this is an all-inclusive plan. This is the emergency operation plan for the town of Barnstable. And it covers the four major areas of emergency planning: mitigation, preparation, response, and recovery. It's a very in-depth plan. It covers for every possible scenario that you can think of. But with that SIM plan also comes a resource manual. The resource manual is a contact list for every individual in town of Barnstable. It would have to be contacted. It also identifies every resource and asset that the town of Barnstable has, from the police department, the fire department, the DPW, any piece of equipment that we may need, from a front end loader to a shovel to emergency radio system. It also lays out the chain of command. You know, who's in command, who will coordinate the efforts of all of the different organizations.
That workshop will lead off Thursday's council meeting. Meanwhile, the town's proposed problem property ordinances will be up for a public hearing in December.
A particular location in town of Barnstable, no matter where it is, and if we are constantly being dispatched or answering calls at that one particular location, we are going to take a look at it. You know, if whoever's at the house, if they're victims of a crime, that is different. But if the crime is occurring at that particular house, that house, that problem property is causing the property, we're going to put them on notice. We're going to put the landlord on notice, and then after 2 or 3 response times, if it becomes obvious that the house is not correcting the problem, the landlord is not correcting the problem, the tenant's not correcting the problem, and then if we have to start putting additional resources and assets on that property, we are going to start billing the property owner.
Chief McDonald says if passed, the ordinances will be key in helping the police department deal with repeat offenders.
We responded to a property on Spring Street last week. You know, there was a shooting at that particular residence. You know, the week before that, we responded to that same house for a home invasion where somebody broke into the house, not to steal anything, but to assault the occupant. And prior to that, there was a couple of narcotics arrests at that house. That particular piece of property will certainly fall under the premise of this problem ordinances, you know, because the problem is originating from that house. You know, we're not looking at property where if somebody's a victim of a domestic violence, you know, they're in a bad relationship and responding there all the time because of domestic violence. That does not come under problem ordinances. What comes under problem ordinances if the problem starts from their property, such as a house on Spring Street. That would be a perfect example.
That public hearing on the problem property ordinances is scheduled for the December 6th Town Council meeting. Meanwhile, Director of Regulatory Services Tom Geiler says his department is gearing up for the busy holiday season. Geiler warns shoppers to be careful when purchasing gift certificates or gift cards.
You can buy gift certificates in a myriad array of options. Quite often, individual stores sell them, or individual businesses sell them. But what might be a little bit safer is the bank cards, or the cards like a mall card, that type of thing. That's good at a significant number of stores, and increases the chances that 6 months or a year down the road that store is still going to be there, or that gift card is still going to have value.
Geiler says Consumer Affairs will keep an eye on commerce during the busy holiday shopping season.
Well, one of the difficulties in the holiday time is frequently there are advertised specials where the store has a very limited supply of that particular item. It makes it very difficult for the shoppers, and what they need to watch out for is that they can switch a scam where what they're trying to do is move them to another item that may be a higher cost or lesser value, and when that advertised one is no longer available. So shoppers need to be careful of that. If that's not what they want, and that's not what they went there for, they probably shouldn't buy it.
Geiler warns that many scams are illegal.
There are several that they get a little bit complicated, but particularly for products that are purchased at one location and delivered some other way, that you don't take possession of it immediately. So yes, I'd be a little more careful in buying products that way. That's becoming a bigger and bigger part of the economy, where there are a significant number of online types of operations, as well as mail order operations, that have been in business for a significant period, have a good customer base, and people have been able to rely on them. And there are others that are brand new that nobody's heard of, and you might want to be a little bit more cautious with the new ones to ensure that when you send your money, that you get what it is we're looking to purchase.
Geiler also reminds consumers to be careful when shopping for items online.
We get a lot of complaints about the mail order types of options, where you buy today, it's $19.95, and we're going to ship you 2 of them. And what they're doing is they're shipping each one separately and charging more for the shipping than they have for the product, so that you could end up paying $40, $50 in the end for something that you thought you were going to pay $19.95.
We'll have more holiday shopping tips as we get closer to the big season. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.